Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of Valentia Saga War of the Killer Bow. I'm USS Gordon Captain here with,
1776.
and we're prepping for this. So, the Desert Stronghold is a really difficult map, and we don't actually have very many good units for this, so we need to do a lot of fairly complicated preparation. First, we need to get the Fish Crazy Man to give us the Pegasus cheese, which will let Leon double all the archers since he'll have 8 speed. And then we get Atlas.
Yes, Atlas. He exists. He is a villager, so we can promote him into whatever we want. And he has some good traits, like his 14 base strength, which is very similar to Leon's current 13 strength, which might tell you of what direction this is going. But first, we must sell all of our alcohol, all of our food, because rather than prepare for a long trip in which our units might get hungry in universe, we'd rather spend that money on getting good weapons in order to kill enemies better. And there
Yes.
is not much happening besides menuing because we got a lot of stuff.
So the weapons we're going to forge are a +2 javelin and a +1 silver lance, which are going to forge over the steel lance. The silver lance and javelin are for Paula and Katria. They're going to be sort of swapping those around, and then we're going to forge an iron bow for Atlas. Atlas is actually going to be very similar to like physical Bowie. He'll have 17 strength compared to Bowie's 14 might, but enemies have lower resistance to defense, so it ends up fairly similar. The main advantage Atlas is going to have is Atlas is going to get a 4 range and 1 AS. So with 1 AS, he doubles enemies with 0 AS, which are enemy Arcanists with Mire. And with 4 range, he gets to stay out of range of enemies with 3 range, which are enemy Arcanists with Mire.
Yeah, you may notice that we are suddenly in the Seal Shrine. Well, there is a very long travel from Mountain Village to Seal Shrine, but we decided to cut that out because the map spawn rigging is pretty boring to watch on such a long trip. But it is worth it because we see Saber getting promoted, even though he was not planned to promote. But
Unfortunately, his speed is still too low, and he gets doubled by Bimmy.
yes, but we will get to Vimy eventually. Like he's the highlight of Celica's run.
He is the hardest single enemy in the whole game.
Yes, even worse than Leather Shield Mark.
Or Jetta.
But even Bimmy is no match to Archer Atlas. Like, just look at him. He's so happy to be able to contribute something to the army. Whereas Kamui is still rotting in the background, crying why he's never used for anything.
Kamui got to do one thing where he gets to kill the Canor. So now we're going to forge a iron shield. You may notice I got exactly 1 silver coin. That's because I was 1 silver coin short of forging it last time.
Yes, even after selling all of that stuff, we're still really short on money. Because we needed to forge a lot of stuff.
So we get an
It was
iron
most
shield. Just gonna give us a second shove.
yay. Because Shove is broken, and it's actually gonna come up in the next map.
Yep. Jump cut straight to the map. Katria is going to be put into position to fight the Arcanists on enemy phase. Notably, the enemy phase Arcanists are going to be pretty far away. So Katria is chosen because she actually has good bulk against Arcanists. This is one of her few enemies that she can actually hit. And these Arcanists are the last 2 Arcanists in the entire game that are armed with the Miasma spell, which
Yes.
Katria is especially good at fighting.
It's all Meyer from here. And speaking of Fallen Katria, usually Fallen Katria are praised because they're good in the desert maps, but people forget that the enemy composition is not very nice to them. So instead of using Paula and Kadri to do most of the work. We have a foot unit in a desert map, which might seem like a contradiction, but we got enough movement skills to help Leon walk in the sand and go to town against all of these enemies.
Yeah, it's a lot like doing rescue drop strats, only slightly more convoluted because we had to learn the skills. But now that we have them, obviously they're awesome. So we have this really annoying enemy, Mr. Shield, who doesn't get killed except with a critical hit. And well, we just need to keep resetting until we get the crit. Really,
Yes,
Bowie can use Thunder here, which lets me get another chance of getting the crit, but Bowie missed. We need to get this critical hit because that archer in that corner of the map is placed in such a location such that all the other archers ironed with iron bows can only hit Leon from that location, and so they would just get blocked.
the strategy is very reliant that Mr. Shield just has to go. And thankfully, Leon, after 2 tries, finally gets it. And he also gets defense, which is pretty good because he's gonna get attacked by a lot of guys.
Yes. In Deliverance HQ, we gave Leon a strength well. This map is the whole reason why we did that. Now he one rounds these Ironbow archers without needing a strength proc. So here we're going to be sandbagging Leon's movement a bit, which is a little odd, but basically Leon is constrained by his HP more than he's constrained by his ability to do combat. If Leon had infinite defensive stats or whatever, or you had just rigged all the dodges, you'd be able to 3-turn this map. But since we can't rig all the dodges, we have to 4-turn this map instead. And here we get to see Paula and Katria being the most disappointing thing since my son, and missing out on killing this guy by 1 damage.
That's all because Katria missed.
It's okay. Bowie gets to bait them out later. And May is going to heal Leon using the recover spell. This is actually an extremely important reason why Leon's able to do this map at all. Is because Leon gets extra bulk from May. So May herself might not be able to be very good on this map because she gets targeted by archers. But since May can heal Leon, she sort of acts like an extra 30 HP on Leon.
Usually, the idea would be that Jenny heals Leon, but she didn't grow enough attack points to heal him back to full HP, so May fulfills that role really well. And she's still out of range because all of these guys don't reach her.
Yeah. The key is to stagger enemy combat so that only a few enemies can reach Leon at a time.
Speaking of
And
Leon, it really says something that while Leon has been busy taking all of these guys out, Paul and Kutcher have been struggling just with one guy. They need the help of Atlas and even Bowie to take them out.
yes. Meanwhile, May and Leon have been like crushing through the right hand side by themselves without really any struggle. Bowie has been, using lightning spells to stop enemies.
Yes, the main thing that people criticize the Archer fort about is that it is a lot of sand and all of the enemies have range. And they go on the idea that, oh, I need to use Paul and Catcher to fly over and then bait them out and kill them one by one. When they could just use Leon instead because he's much better at enemy facing than Paul and Catcher are.
Yes. So in this enemy phase, I demonstrate that no player unit other than Leon is in range of a single enemy. That's noteworthy, so that the enemies all target him. And now Leon needs to get 2 criticals because he needs to critical Wolf and he needs to critical the Myrmidon, the mercenary. That mercenary, by the way, is the same mercenary that Paula and Katria had been struggling to kill with all their might and Leon has to kill him in 1 turn, so he needs a crit.
And it also speaks to Leon's vocal rather the lack of strength of this mercenary, because Leon just got crit in the face and he didn't care.
Leon gets crit in the face and crits him like back. And I'm like, let's go! And that is the legendary Battle of the Desert Stronghold, cleared in 4 turns. I'll see you guys next time for Sonia's map.
So yeah.